Hello, good morning, guys. My name is Muhammad Asim Akram. Welcome back to the channel Cloud Asim. Right, in this topic, as we discussed that we will be seeing how to deploy DeepSeek on a virtual machine, that is Linux operating system, and we will see how this AI outperformed OpenAI. Right, as it is DeepSeek is open source and it's live and it is very competitive to different models. Right, the models which is given over here, DeepSeek V3 outperform multiple models. Right, this was their old model 2.5. Then there's a Queen from Alibaba. Then you have LLMA, Claude is there, ChatGPT 4.0, and Meta different models, right? So if you check it over here, we are from the software related, right? If you check it over here, see human evaluation of this model is 82.6, whereas ChatGPT is 80.5, right? You will see every benchmark over here given is that outperform the ChatGPT 4.0, which is a paid version. You have the subscription of 20 USD dollar to 200 USD dollar, right? So now the bull eye where it got hit is that DeepSeek made it open source and without any cost. So you can take that code and we can deploy into our own virtual machines or our local system as well. Okay. So now the thing is that why do we require now how we are going to configure this DeepSeek onto on our virtual machines. For that, we required one virtual machines. So what we'll do it, we'll go over here and we will what we'll do quickly we will launch one instance over here, right? So if I click on the instance over here, I don't have any instance, right? I'm in the Asian specific. So let's say, for example, I will add it at AI, for example, right? I will write AI deployment. Okay. Then afterwards, I'll be selecting Linux operating system, right? So I'll be going with the Ubuntu. Okay. Ubuntu operating system. So what we are doing, we are making one configuration, one virtual machine, right? So for this use case, what we're going to do, we will go with the T2 large. So we require minimum 8 GB of memory and 2 CPU, two virtual machines, right? So for this use case, we will take this and we will create a new pair, new, just to name it over here, and I will save that AI key, right? And I'll be saving for the .pem key, and I will keep it everything default because this is only for the learning purpose, and I will keep SSH, that is a port 22, open from everyone so that I can access this virtual machine always as well. So in this storage I will make it as 20 because it requires minimum 8 GB 7 GB of storage to configure this DeepSeek on on our virtual machine. So I have reviewed over here everything. I click on the launch instance, then the instance will get initiated and it will go check pass as 2 by 2. Okay, so for that, what we'll do, we'll go back over here, the move, the next steps. So what we do, we required one Olama, right? We will use Olama to deploy this DeepSeek R1 models, right? So if you go over here, what will do, it will package all your model of a LLM model and it will help you to package and deploy to minimize your cost, to loads and optimize everything. Okay, so this is Olama is available. This is also open source. You can go with olama.com. Okay, where you check it over here, then you'll be finding that this is available only for three operating system, right? Mac OS, Linux, and Windows. For our use case, we have used Linux operating system, right? So this is our virtual machine on which we have Linux Linux OS Ubuntu is configured. So I'll be going over here, then I'll be checking Linux, then I'll be receiving one command over here, right? So in order to execute this command, we need the access of our EC2 instance. So what we will do it, we'll go over back to our virtual machine what we have created. I will take the IP address of that, and what I will do, I'm going to open SSH client, that is Mobile Extreme, which you make you easy, right, to access your virtual machines. So quickly I'll click on the sessions and I will say SSH because I'm going with the port, and I will give the IP address of that, and I will give username. As you know that Ubuntu operating system has Ubuntu username, and I'll give the path of the key which I have downloaded. So if you review over here where we have downloaded into download folder, right? So if you click over here, then we will be authenticated. If our key is valid, then I'll be getting the access of this virtual machine. So if you review over here, you will have the access of this virtual machine. If you review over here, the down also, you'll get the monitoring access as well. Okay, where it's showing that I have 0% usage of my CPU, okay, of this machine, and I'm using Ubuntu. I have logged in as Ubuntu users. I have RAM used 0.545 GB out of 7.75 GB, right? There is a data transferring out and in, right? And here is the storage I have been used 20 because whenever you're going to configure your virtual machine, it required by default some ports and everything to be configured, right? So now what I'm going to do, I will switch back to root user. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that first, as I mentioned, that we are going to install Ollama, right? Ollama, I'll be copying over here. So before that, what we'll do, we will just update the package because we have created new machines, right? Sudo apt update -y. Okay, so it will update any dependencies packages for AWS was required to be updated, that will be updated. Okay, so it's saying that 40 packages are updated. The best practice to when you're going creating any virtual machine or you are restarting your server or you're accessing of after a meanwhile time of 2 weeks, something like this. For example, the best practice is to update your Linux packages. Okay, security and everything getting updated. Okay, so the update is done. So now what we'll do, we will proceed for installation of Ollama. Okay, so for that use case, let me just copy this command and I will paste it over here, right? And I will hit enter. So now what will happen, it will configure the Ollama on my Linux operating machine, right? Which I have Ubuntu 24.0 LTS version, which we are using. So meanwhile, what you can do, guys, you can go to the my channel, which is Cloud DevOps and RSIM, where you can find all related. I have already covered the details of AI, details like what is outperformance. It's about theoretical, right? It's not a deployment prospect, but it's about the knowledge where you can go and check it out this as well. I have Linux masterclass and I have the mock-up interviews and many another videos has been uploaded on the channel. You can review that as well. Okay, don't forget to share, subscribe so that you receive latest update related to the cloud, AI and DevOps prospect. Okay, so now if I go over here, so it's taking time and it's installing Ollama. Okay, so it's creating the user out of Ollama and it say that no NVIDIA GPU detector. Okay, that's fine. But the point is that we don't require GPU for DeepSeek. Okay, that's the best thing. What DeepSeek is that it had eliminated the dependency of GPU. Okay, so it's giving the warning. So that's fine. We don't require NVIDIA thanks to DeepSeek. So the next what we'll do, we'll go back over here and what we'll do, we'll go back again. Sorry, we'll go back to root. Okay, where we need to configure the model, right? So if I'm going over here back, so I'll be seeing that there are some models which I'm going to, they're given the option to configure. Now which model we are going to process, we are going to deploy DeepSeek R1, right? So if I click on the DeepSeek R1, so it's saying that DeepSeek first generation of reasoning model with comparable performance to OpenAI O1, right? So it has given different 6 models, right? R1 based on Ollama and Queen. So these are the models which you can configure. So by default, they have given 7B. That's fine. We will go and we will configure that only. So what we need to do it, we need only copy this, right? The code over here, and I'll go to my server and I'll paste it over here. Then I will hit enter, right? So what will happen? It will put all the manifest and the dependency of our DeepSeek AI, right, machine learning model, and it will deploy on this Linux machine, right? So if you check it over, you'll be finding that CPU consumption is very high. That's the reason we have selected of T2 large machine, right? So that it should not be bustable. And the family which we have selected will cover that aspect as well. So the family which I've selected, that is T2 large. So usually this is bustable family. That means whenever the high load comes, the E2's virtual machine get busted. Okay, that means it will stop working, it will be stuck. So if you do want to enhance more speed, you can go with M family, C family. There are different type of families available. Okay, that is a part of you can cover this aspect also, which I have covered in my channel as well. Okay, you'll be finding that videos over here, compute drive and server, everything. I have covered all 3 AWS services. Okay, where you can skill upskill everything, you can do it. See, this video you can refer, where you will have 4 hours masterclass where you will be covering all the aspects, what kind of ECT services and everything is available based on our use case, which kind of use case you are using, what kind of application you are going to deploy on your virtual machines, right? It can be database, big data, it can be any web server or application server, anything kind of that. Okay, so let's switch back again over here. So now if you check it over here, it's saying that 4.7 GB has been downloaded, that package. Okay, so now it's saying that is successful. So what we will do, it we will test this DeepSeek and we will take some answers from there. So what I'm doing, act as DevOps engineer, right? And explain Docker architecture in human way, right? So if I hit enter over here, what will do, it will interact with our model and it will take an answer out of this. So first thing what it did, it took a think, like it's taking the thinking model, right? Where it's saying that I'm trying to understand Docker architecture. Let me start by breaking out down. I know about the Docker from the previous reading, maybe some videos or some articles, right? This is saying that this model is trained, is what is doing, right? Is taking all the things, right? So let's say, first off, Docker is a containerization platform, right? So containers like lightweight virtual machines. See how the interaction answers is coming from DeepSeek. You got my point. So it's saying like a human interaction way, because the prompt which I have given over here is human way, right? So these models, whichever the model, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, all the models will interact with your prompt which you have given. So it's come with the prompt engineering type kind of times, right? Where you need to write your prompt very accurately to get the answer from these trained models. Okay, so then see, he's saying all the things. If I read over here, so what he's saying, first off, Docker is a containerization platform. So the container like wait virtual machine that share the host machine resources that make them effect because they are don't require a full virtual setup. We know very well, right? Docker is portable containers where we are going to deploy in any environment without any dependency conflict within them. Okay, if that containers work on my PC, it will work obviously on your PC as well. Okay, we need to configure any dependency because we are defining the base image and everything in the Docker files. Okay, in the Docker image, we will create Docker file image, so every dependency goes with them. So this all things, see, images repository, I remember Docker Hub is a public repository where people can share their images. So if someone else want your app image, they can pull the app image it from there. It must be helpful for collaboration among team, right? So what happened, it's giving the answers as a human way interaction, right? So we can get any answer out of them. So this the answer is very competitive, like very best answers which compared to ChatGPT and different models, right? Even the Alibaba is jumping into the market, he has their own model that also can be interacted. Okay, so this all things come up, I believe that it's going very speedy, but no problem, it is a very interesting way, right? So this is how you can just configure your virtual machine, one virtual machine, create one virtual machine, because we don't have Linux hosted on my machine, right? On my laptop. So I'm taking AWS support to take one virtual machine from them. If you have any virtual machine or Linux installed on your laptop, Linux operating system, you can don't there is no dependency of AWS in this aspect. Okay. So if I click Control C, it's saying the net it has been stopped. Okay. Just I will say that right about right about write about Jenkins in 2 lines, right? So I will give this prompt. Let's see how that it responds. So what happened? The prompt I've given write about Jenkins because it's taking too much time, right? So let me think it's thinking now because it had the thinking model. So if I check it over here, right, I'll give that example as well. So what does actually think? See, it's giving over here, right? Deep think model. So what it does, whenever the answer is printing out, it will think before giving the answers. And the whatever is thinking, that it will be printed over here. If I give example, write about Jenkins, right? This is the UI of DeepSeek. Okay, so if you write about Jenkins, so see it's printing here thinking, right? The same thing you're getting over here. Okay, see the thinking part. Okay, so it's saying that I need to explain Jenkins in 2 line. Let me think about the Jenkins and it is main functions. Okay, so this is how things goes. Jenkins is a tool for the building, testing, and deploy application automatically. It uses plugins to automate different stage of software development cycle. Is properly run on the server, interact with CI/CD pipeline. It should mention that it widely used in DevOps for CI/CD automation, handle think like deployment test environment through its plugin, right? So this fine, and let us cancel this, and I will say that write a, let's check it out the how this code works, right? Write a Nginx config config conf config file for uh, Node.js app on 3000 port, right? So let's check it out. How does it retract and give the output in this terms of? So if you check the monitoring as well, right, it's taking 100%. So that let's see a reverse proxy because Node.js runs on 3 localhost or 3000 port, right? 00 dot by default, right? So my configuration should include first server backlogs, yes. Then afterwards is printing the reverse proxy setting. That's fine. We have to forward our whatever the request come to our server, that has to forward to 3000, right? So if you're hustle that how does this screen be in the real time, you can check my video over here as well, where I have this video, right, where we are using reverse proxy in Nginx to configure this. Okay, you can watch this video where we have 10,000 10k plus views on this. Okay. Well, when I've written a write a configuration in Nginx file for Node.js application, right? Sample application. So what happened? The first phase is that is taking a time to think what it can be best answer in a human way. Because I have trained this model to act as a DevOps engineer and answer in a human way, right? A human way. So what happened is it's taking everything over here. It's saying the first is explaining that there will be one server block in your configuration file. Then you have server proxy setting. Then you have SSLTL block. Then you have path to define and static files, where your static files had been configured on your server, and the pointing that to the static file path, okay, where HTML, CSS, and JS JavaScript is as hosted. Okay, so then afterwards it's saying that you can keep it as 00 and the port number 3000 where our application been hosted. If you check it over here, it started to create one sample Nginx configuration file. If you check here, it's defined that Nginx and server block 3000, right? It has given the name localhost, and we can specify any domain, host domain over here. Afterwards, giving 5 second keep alive timeout, then reverse proxy block scheme, where we are whatever the request is coming on this server, we are forwarding to 80 port, right? And then afterwards what we are doing, we are setting SSL certification, and the path and everything is given over here. And what is that is I even added the explanation over here. The server blog, what is the reverse proxy, what is the use of the reverse proxy, like configuration reverse Nginx had to act as a reverse proxy, and it will forward all your requests to that defined port or different servers. Okay, so it has given already the 3000 port, it has been forwarded. Then you have testing and development blocks, and everything is given over here. So this is how you can take the output of your prompt, whatever the prompt you're giving, that output will be given to you. So don't forget, if you have more explanation you require, so you should go and check it out this video, which I have uploaded yesterday, day before yesterday, about the AI war, DeepSeek versus OpenAI, right, where I have explained completely that what's the difference between that. Okay, don't forget to share, subscribe.